Jesus walking on water is a well-known miracle, even among people with very little knowledge of the Gospels. In addition to it being a remarkable moment in the life of Christ and his disciples, it also reveals to us an important truth about the work of the church. This miracle happens right after Jesus feeds the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. We read that Jesus sends the apostles out in a boat across the Sea of Galilee while he goes up a mountain to pray. As the disciples are crossing the sea, it gets dark and they're caught in a windstorm. And the wind and the waves look like they're going to capsize the boat. They look out into the darkness and they see a figure walking towards them. And the figure, of course, is Christ himself, who enters into the boat and calms the wind and the waves. And in the ancient world, the boat was a symbol for the church. And great bodies of water are symbols of chaos and death. And in the Orthodox Church, we interpret this passage to be a summary of the events that will happen at the Ascension and Pentecost. Mountains and hills are a symbol in the Bible of the heavens, of the place where God dwells. So Jesus going up to the mountain is him ascending to his dwelling place. And ascending into heaven, he sends the apostles into the broken, chaotic world. And of course, in this world, the church experiences troubles, the stormy waters of the tyranny of sin and death in fallen humanity. And what we see here then is that although Christ ascends into heaven, he is not indifferent to the struggles of his people. He visits them in their hardship, but often in the midst of these struggles, we don't recognize the presence of the Lord. And so in this passage, when the apostles look out onto the water, they think they see a ghost. They don't recognize Jesus right away. In moments of difficulty, we don't recognize Christ because we are so caught up in the events going on around us that we lose sight of his presence. In the midst of our hardships, Christ offers us a way through them. In a sense, he offers us a way of staying above the fray. And so when Peter walks out to Jesus on the stormy waves, he's above them as long as he keeps his eyes on Christ. But when he's distracted by the storm, by the wind and the waves, and he takes his eyes off of Christ, then he begins to sink. We take our eyes off of Christ in the midst of chaos, and that's when the chaos starts to swallow us up. But as long as we're mindful of God, that Christ is with us, and not just that he's with us in a passive way, but offering us a way to stay above the fray, offering us a path through the difficulties, we remember that Jesus is not indifferent or negligent to the needs of his people, to the struggles of his people. And we turn to him, and we do not let ourselves be distracted or blinded by fear. And in this way, we will always find the light of Christ illumining our path. This is our comfort. This is our courage, that there is no storm in life that is too powerful for the one who is obeyed even by the wind and the waves.